The desert training yard at Black Ridge facility didn't forgive weakness. At least, that's what the instructors liked to believe. The transport truck rolled through the gate just after sunrise, dust curling behind it in slow spirals. Officer Caleb Rowan stepped out first. Young, stiff posture, boots too clean for this place. Then the dog jumped down. Lean, dark-coated, silent. No barking, no pulling, just eyes scanning. His file was thin. Temporary assignment. Evaluation pending. Sergeant Maddox watched from across the yard and smirked. Another transfer case, he muttered. Corporal Hayes folded his arms. Looks like he's scared already. Ghost paused at the metal grate entrance to the obstacle yard. Not retreating. Not frozen. Calculating. They mistook stillness for weakness. Training began fast. Heat. Noise. Metal corridors. Elevated steel ramps shimmering in sunlight. Other dogs lunged and barked. Ghost moved with quiet precision. At the debris tunnel, he slowed mid-path, adjusting his angle to avoid warped flooring. See that? Hayes laughed. He's nervous. But he wasn't nervous. He was mapping. Every sound. Every vibration. Every movement. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He was studying the battlefield. Maddox finally grew bored with routine drills. Let's test instinct, he said. They led Ghost into an unused hangar. Unofficial, undocumented. The kind of place where paperwork didn't exist. Metal echoed underfoot. Rowan hesitated. This isn't scheduled. Maddox waved him off. Dogs don't need schedules. A steel sheet slammed against a column. Ghost didn't flinch. A riot shield slammed into his ribs. Hard. Too hard. The impact drove him into a steel beam. He hit the ground and didn't move. Rowan shouted. Maddox shrugged. Weak nerves. They dragged him aside. Laughed. Logged it as overheating. And walked out. But Ghost wasn't unconscious. He was listening. The silence was chosen, 450 words. The hangar sat empty for nearly 20 minutes. Dust drifted in slow patterns beneath broken ceiling fans. Ghost lay still on the cot, breathing shallow, measured. Then one ear twitched. 5 seconds passed. His eyes opened. No panic. No confusion. He rose smoothly, body steady, ribs unharmed beyond bruising. He moved to Rowan's discarded gear bag. With careful precision, he pulled free a folded patch tucked inside a hidden compartment. DevGru K9 unit. Faded. Earned. His ear tattoo bore a serial code few in this facility would recognize. He walked to the reflection panel mounted on the wall. Studied himself. Posture tall. Tail neutral. Breathing controlled. Not defeated. Waiting. When night fell, the hangar lights flickered on again. 4 instructors gathered inside, laughing about the washout. The door opened softly. Ghost stepped inside. No leash. No handler. The laughter died. He stood at the center chalk circle. Still. Balanced. Maddox stepped forward. Round 2. Ghost shifted weight subtly. Not bracing. Preparing. The first instructor charged lazily. Ghost moved low, hooked the man's leg, swept him clean to the ground. No bite. No snarl. Second attacker rushed with a shield. Ghost sidestepped, redirected momentum, flipped him backward with controlled force. Third swung a baton. Ghost slipped inside the arc and applied a precise training hold to the forearm. Pressure. Release. 3 men down. Silence. No blood. No rage. Only efficiency. And then heavy footsteps approached the door. Ghost turned his head slightly. He knew that walk. The man behind the dog, 450 words. The hangar door opened with quiet authority. Lieutenant Commander Elias Reed stepped inside. Combat calm in his eyes. He didn't rush. Didn't shout. He simply walked toward Ghost. The dog's posture changed subtly, straighter, focused. Ghost, Reed said calmly. Stand. Ghost rose fully. Locked position. Maddox stared. You know this dog? Reed didn't look at him. You struck a Tier 1 working dog. Silence swallowed the room. Reed continued, voice level. He ran hostage recovery missions overseas. Pulled his handler from a collapsing structure under fire. Stayed guarding him until evacuation. The instructors went pale. He was reassigned temporarily because his handler didn't survive. Rowan swallowed hard. Reed's gaze shifted to Maddox. You mistook restraint for weakness. No one responded. Reed turned to Ghost. Mission complete. Ghost relaxed slightly. Not submissive. Acknowledging. Security footage was reviewed the next morning. Violations stacked quickly. Unauthorized testing. Excessive force. Failure to report injury. Maddox and Hayes were removed from K-9 oversight immediately. Rowan stood silently in the room. Reed looked at him. You tried to intervene. Rowan nodded. That matters. Respect is earned, 450 words. Morning light stretched across the yard. Recruits trained as usual. But whispers followed one figure crossing the gravel. Ghost walked beside Commander Reed. No leash. No commands. Perfect formation. They passed the obstacle ramp. The debris corridor. The hangar. No announcement. No ceremony. Just recognition. A recruit slowed his jog and instinctively lowered to one knee. Not required. Not ordered. Respect. Ghost didn't acknowledge it outwardly, but he saw it. Reed stopped near the gate. Rowan approached. Sir, he said quietly. Reed nodded once. You stayed. Rowan glanced at Ghost. I thought he deserved better. Reed gave the faintest smile. He didn't need defending. He paused. But integrity always does. Ghost stood tall beside him. No arrogance. No showmanship. Just presence. They walked toward the transport vehicle waiting at the outer perimeter. As they passed the digital roster board, Ghost's name no longer appeared in the observer slot. It didn't need to. Some soldiers wear stripes. Some wear fur. The yard remained silent as the vehicle pulled away. Not out of fear. Out of understanding. Ghost had never been weak. He had simply been disciplined. And discipline doesn't need noise to prove strength.